we've all heard about carbs, right? Short for carbohydrates. Some people say that they're awful for you, other people say that they're awesome for you. So what's the truth? I want to know, I'm sure you want to know. So today in this video, we're going to be talking about the down low of carbs. Check it out. What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to Hustling and Healing. For those of you just joining me, what's up? My name is Bree, and welcome to Hustling and Healing. It is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, all, which means it's Wellness Wednesday. It's Wellness Wednesday, and if you couldn't tell from the previous video, that intro video, today we're going to be talking about carbs. More specifically, the down low on carbs. So I'm going to give you the definition, the scientific one at least. I'm going to give you the one that actually most people understand. And I'm going to give you some tips and tricks about carbs and what. And you can make your own decision based on those. So let's jump right on into it with this really long, lengthy definition of carbs, courtesy of Google via our Oxford dictionaries via Google. So the definition of carbs is any of a large group of organic compounds occurring in foods and living tissues and including sugars, starch, and cellulose. They contain hydrogen, oxygen in the same ratio as water, 2 to 1, and typically can be broken down to release energy in the animal body. Cool. Lots of scientific words. We love that here at Hustling and Healing. We love the big words, the big science terms. But what does it really mean in like simple terms? So carbs, they're one of 3 macronutrients. So there are fats, proteins, and carbs. Those are your 3 macros for all you lifters out there, for all the people that count their calories and things like that. You generally know that the 3 macronutrients are those 3 that I just listed. So carbs are one of them. And then there are 2 types. There are simple carbs, and that comes in candy and soda and sugar, like table sugar and things like that. And then there are complex carbs, which are your beans and your whole grains and your fruits and things like that. So then carbs are the body's main source of energy because they're quick to break down, because they often break down into glucose or fructose or cellulose or any one of those, and a couple of more. I think polysaccharides are one of them. I think that's for complex. But they break down into a whole bunch of smaller compounds for your body to metabolize quickly. So carbs are your body's go-to energy source because they break down quickly. That is most true for simple carbs, as complex carbs take a little more time to break down. And they provide fuel for the central nervous system and the muscle tissue. Like they provide energy for the working muscles. So that's really important. So if you're a heavy lifter, or if you're a runner, things like that, you also need carbs. I know a lot of you probably know about football players, American football, or soccer players that are carb load the night before a big game, so that they can get that store of energy for their next game. And carb load via spaghetti or whatever else. So, and then they also prevent protein from being used as energy, which is really important because protein is really important for building muscle and maintaining muscle mass and things along those lines. So if you can attack those carbs first instead of the protein, then that actually leads to fat metabolism, fat synthesis, which means that you'll be able to target that fat instead of the muscle tissue, which is what you want if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to lean out. Any of those things. You always want to attack the fat first and not the protein or the muscle tissue. So that's really important. So that's why carbs play a great role for that. And furthermore, they're important for mood function. So they tend to influence your mood and memory. So they're important really for cognitive functions. And that's huge because I personally, when I don't have carbs, I get real grumpy and real hangry. And I love carbs. I think carbs are dope. In moderation. But also I think that if you're eating the right types of things, it definitely do help your brain. Like people say you should eat nuts to improve your memory or something like that. Nuts can be carbs. Or even like your mood. I know pasta makes most people happy. So just look at it that way. And then lastly, how much should you be eating? So it depends on what your goals are. So if the recommended daily amount for adults is 135 grams of carbs, and that's according to the NIH, the National Institute of Health. So that comes out approximately to 45 to 60% of a diet. And then 1 gram of carbs, 60 to 65 depending. So 1 gram of carbs equals approximately 4 calories, which isn't too bad. So if you are on an 1800 calorie diet, then that should come out to about 202 grams of carbs that you should be consuming in a day. What you would say, which one may think, "Ooh, that's a lot." It really isn't, but that's how much they suggest to keep your body functioning and things along those lines. And then if your fitness goals are to gain muscle or to maintain or to even lose fat, you tend to need more carbs because you're going to tend to need more calories to feed those muscles. So with your calorie increase, so do your carbs. And the converse for fat loss, you're going to have to be in a caloric deficit, as we've spoken about in previous videos. So as your calories go down, so does your carb limit. And then it is important for you to know that complex carbs are the better carbs. So you should definitely be reaching for the whole grains instead of the whites, or the white rices, like the whole grain rices and whole grain pastas that are white pastas, and no sugar, no added sugar in like sodas and drink sweeteners and things along those lines. So rule of thumb for that. And then finally, people with diabetes and or carb sensitivities are encouraged to consume 200 grams of carbs or fewer in a day. Because as you know, as I've stated before, carbs break down into sugar, into glucose, and that can really affect people who are diabetic. And then their levels and their insulin levels and all that. I'm not a nutritionist, or I can't really speak to you about diabetes in the very in-depth terms, but I do know those as the basis. And people with carb sensitivities should also tend to stick to lower input of carbs. And some people are like, yeah, I can't have carbs after 5 p.m. or else I bloat. And that is also true for certain people. It's important to know your body, how your body reacts to carbs before you adjust your things accordingly. Of course, I always suggest speaking to a doctor, but if you don't have time, or if you don't have the funds or resources, play around with it, see when you feel your best, see when you feel your worst, and adjust. So that's the down low on carbs for this Wellness Wednesday. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And hit that bell down there to get notifications for my next video. If you're interested in following me on other forms of social media, I am on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and of course YouTube, which I'm sure you're watching this video on. And finally, if you're interested in other forms of content that I do post 3 times a week. That is Monday, and that's the hustling aspect, Wednesday, which is the wellness aspect, and Sundays, which is the healing, self-love aspect. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great Wednesday wherever you are, and I'll see you on Sunday for Self-Love Sunday. Bye!